guys, this is Rosa Kelly. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with a new super easy tutorial. This book measures 8 by 7. It has 5 signature pages and really easy layouts. I was able to create this book super quick, so hopefully this will be a very relaxing process for you to follow along, even if you are a beginner maker. I'm gonna go ahead and share with you a final walkthrough, and then we're gonna get right into making this book together. Also, for those of you who like to cut your pieces ahead, I do have a cutting guide listed on my website, which I'm gonna link down below. So again, the book measures 8 by 7. I do have a 3¼ inch spine, 5 signature pages, which means 10 pages plus the inside covers. The inside covers are just plain, but over here on the first page, this opens up, and then we have a pocket here. On the back page, we have a double flap and then a side panel. Next page here, this opens, and then these two sections open up and down, so you can add some photo mats here and just kind of fold everything together. This next page is a little pop-up, so this opens up like this, and we have a 3D page, and then these two panels also open up like that. So a really easy way to add some movement to your pages. This opens up like that, and we have another little easy 3D pop-up page here, place for a picture. Next page opens up, and then we have a pocket on the side pocket. Then we have a double accordion fold, so lots of room for pictures here. You can put 5 by 7 pictures. On the back, this just simply opens to the side, and then this opens up like that. You might notice this flap is the same on each one of the pages, so it is included as part of the base page, making the process even faster of creating this book. Over here on this page, this is an easel page, so it opens up like that, and you have a 3D easel display, and then this is also a pocket, and of course room for pictures on the back. And then the back page just opens here, and then we have another flap. So super quick and easy book to create. I hope you guys are excited. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, and also again check out the website if you wanna see the cutting guide for this book. And now let's go ahead and make it together. Okay, so to make this book, we are going to be using some chipboard. So I have cut 2 pieces at 8½ by 7, and then I went ahead and cut 1 piece at 8½ by 3¼ And for this book, we're going to be using some double-sided tape and also some lightweight cardstock. So I'm using 65 pound, 176 grams. I am using the Recollections brand. So I have some here that is already opened. And we're going to start with the binding for the book. I'm going to be using this lightweight cardstock for the entire book. And let's get right to it. So I'm going to be using 3 pieces, and we are going to connect these pieces here. So I am just going to add my glue and join these 3 pieces here together, okay, to create one long piece. And then we are going to add the chipboard. So I'm going to use my double-sided tape here and just add it on the chipboard. You can also do glue for this step, okay. I just don't like when the glue sometimes wrinkles the cardstock a little bit, and since this is going to be a blank base, if I'm going to decorate this book, I don't mind using the glue because I know the design paper will kind of protect and not make the book wrinkle, or you know, when it wraps a little bit on the front. But since this is going to be a blank book, I'm just gonna use my double-sided tape. So I'm going to start with the spine. So just peel off the tape and place this piece here at the center. So just peel off the tape, and then when you place this piece, you're going to leave a little space between the chipboard pieces here. So I'm just gonna take all of this tape and again leave a little space right here like that, and then we're just going to cut the extra. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this out, and then also we are going to cut the corners without getting too close to the chipboard. Okay, so do the same over on this side. And cut the corners here. Okay, so I'm just gonna take all of these, and then we're going to add the double-sided tape all along the sides. Okay, so we're just gonna put all of these tape, and next we're just going to fold and wrap around the cardstock here, okay, to the chipboard. Just gonna press down. Okay, so press down and remove the tape, and again press down. And then you also want to score along the bending lines. And let's do the same for the other side. So start folding your cardstock and press down. And then we're going to remove the tape. Okay, so remove the tape. And press down here. And then again, we're going to score on these bending lines. And then we're going to tuck in the cardstock. We're just going to make sure it goes around the chipboard. And then we're going to fold this up and press down. Okay, and then remove tape over here, press down, and we're going to do the same on the other side, and then just fold and press down and remove the tape, and there we go. So we're just gonna fold the sides, and there you go. So that is going to be how our base is going to look like. Now for the inside of the spine, we're going to cut one piece at 5.5 by 8.25. Okay, and we are going to go ahead and glue this piece here on the spine. So I'm just gonna add my glue. Let's make sure this is open, and here we go. So we're just gonna add the glue here all around and all over the center. And then I also like to add my glue here next to the bending lines. Okay, and now we're just gonna place this right at the center and press down. So let me get my tool and press down here. Okay, we're gonna let this dry here for a little bit, And on the meantime, I went ahead and cut 2 pieces. These are 8 1/4 by 6 3/4, and we're going to glue these 2 pieces on the 2 sides. Okay, so I'm just gonna add one over here, and then the other one. Okay, and this is going to also protect the cardstock here that we wrap around, so it makes everything secure. And now we're just gonna press down and press down here, and there we go, and there we go. And now we are going to go ahead and score along the bending lines for the spine. So you're gonna find your lines, the little gaps, and you're gonna match that, and then just give it a gentle score. We're just gonna score, and then we're also going to score on this other side. And you guys have probably done this a million times if you have been following me and making mini albums. So this should be a really easy process for you. But also, if this is your first time making a mini album, it is going to be a really fun, easy process. And I do have to warn you, these mini albums are super addictive to create. Once you make one, you're gonna want to make a whole bunch and play with different layouts and pages. That's the way that I feel every single time I create a new project. So that is gonna be the base here, the binding, and we're gonna put this to the side and start working on the pages. Now the pages for this book are gonna be super easy to create. Again, if this is your first time making a book, this will be a really good tutorial for you. Also, if you have been creating a lot of books and you are kind of getting ready for the holidays, maybe creating mini albums in a batch, this is also a really good option for you. So this book is going to have 5 signature pages, so we are just going to cut these pieces at 8 1/4. So this will be 8 1/4 by 11, and I always like to double check that my page is 11 inches. Although these pages are 8.5 by 11, sometimes they're not exactly what the measurement should be, as you can see. So I always like to double measure everything. So I did 2 here, and I'm going to do 3 on this one. So again, 8 1/4. Open that a little more. Okay, so 8 1/4 by 11 right here, and there we go. So we're just going to put that to the side, and so we are going to score. Let me also put this to the side. And so we are going to score along the 11 inches. Let's bring this here. We are going to score. All of these pages will be the same, so we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Oops. Okay, so 1/2 inch here. Make sure you have only one. Okay, so 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and we're going to score at 7 1/4. Okay, and we are going to do the same for all of these. 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 7 1/4. Next one again, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 7 1/4. And so we have a couple more to go. 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 7 1/4. Okay, and then the last one, because we have 5 signature pages here, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 7 1/4. And now we are going to fold along the score lines. So you're gonna fold the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch. These are gonna be your hinges, and then this flap here we're gonna fold towards the back. Okay, and so I'm just going to do the same and fold this one towards the back. Fold. Okay, so that's 3, and then do this here again. Here we go, and then the last one here. And we're gonna fold these to the back. So these are gonna be our 5 signature pages. We call each one of these a signature, but then each one is gonna have 2 sides. So we're gonna call this page 1 and page 2. So on your cutting guide, if you're using the cutting guide, this will be page 1 and page 2. So page 2 already will have this flap, and that will be the same for all the back pages. And we're gonna go ahead and create a couple more layouts on each one of these before we add it to our book. So we're gonna start with page 1. Page 1 is going to be 1 piece. We're gonna cut this at 6 1/4 by 8 1/2, and then I'm going to cut another piece at 7 1/4 by 5 inches. And so we are going to score the first piece at 1/2 inch along the 8 1/2. Okay, so we're gonna score and fold along the score line. And then for this other piece, we are going to score along the 5 inches at 1/2 inch, and along the 7 1/4, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 6 3/4. And this is going to be a pocket, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the corners where the score lines meet, and then we're going to fold along the score lines here. Okay, and then we're gonna bring back our first page, and we're going to just glue our pockets here along the bottom of the page. You want to make sure your score lines are to your left side, and then we are going to add the glue. Okay, so we're just gonna add the glue here and place this right there like that. Okay, and then just press down. Then we're going to use the other piece, and we're going to glue this one along the top of the page. Okay, and place that right along the top here and press down. So that is going to be our page 1, a flap and a pocket. Now for the back of this page, we are going to cut 2 pieces, and I'm gonna use these left over here, and these are both going to be 5 by 4. Okay, so 5 by 4 inches. And then we are going to score. I do apologize, my voice keeps cracking. I have been dealing with some horrible cold for the past, I want to say 2 weeks, but hopefully it's getting better now. But anyway, so we're gonna score along the 5 inches at 1/2 inch. My page is actually between 4 3/4 and 5, so I'm just using my leftovers. So if your piece is 4 3/4, just go ahead and use that. Okay, so I like using the scraps. I don't like cutting you know, a whole new page for these smaller pieces. So just use your leftovers if you have to adjust the size a little bit, as long as you have 4 inches on one side. So we are going to glue these both pieces here on the right side of the page. Remember, we already have our flap here, so that makes this layout super easy. So we are just going to place that over here, press down, and then we're going to add this other one here. So we have now 2 sections, and then this whole thing will open up like that, and that is going to be our page 2. For page number 3, I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 6.5 by 8.25. Oops, do it like that. And we're going to score along the 6.5 at half an inch for both of these pieces. So we're going to score at half and at half, and then fold along the score lines. Okay, so now I'm going to bring my second signature, and we are going to add these 2 pieces, 1 on each side. So again, we're on the front of the page now, so you want to make sure your hinge is on the left side. Okay, and place 1, and then we're going to open this up and place the other one over here. Okay, so press down, and there you go. So we have one flap and the other. Then I'm going to use these 2 leftovers, and we're going to cut these pieces at 6 inches. So this will be 6 by 4.5, and we're going to score along the 4.5. We're going to score at half an inch. Okay. And fold along the score lines. Now I'm going to open this up and open this up, and then here at the center I'm going to add these 2 flaps. So one along the top, so place that right at the center, and then we're going to add the other one right along the bottom here and press down. And there we go. So now these 2 will open up like that and close and close. Now we're gonna move to this back page here. Now for this one, I'm going to go ahead and cut 1 piece, and this is going to be 7, and I'm gonna do this by, let's do this by 9, and we're going to score along the 9 inches at half an inch, then at 4.5, and at 8.5. Okay, and we're going to fold along the score lines. So fold and fold, and then we're going to bring back this page, and we're going to fold this in half along the score line, and then these 2.5 inches we're going to keep flat. Now it's hard to see on the black cardstock, but These 2/2 inches, I'm just gonna keep them flat here. And so we're going to open up this section and place these at the center up and down. And then you want to make sure you are giving it a little space to this hinge. Okay, so maybe about 1/4 inch away from that bending line. And we're going to add glue on that 1/2 inch that we scored. Okay, and then close this flap here. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and close, and then we're gonna open this up and add the glue also on this 1/2 inch, okay, on the other side, and then close this. Now if you're decorating this book, you might want to add your design paper here before you do this layout. It might make it a little bit easier, or you can always add the paper after and then just kind of measure what this is, right? So now you have a little bit of a 3D page over here, and this is gonna close and open, and you're gonna have kind of like a little pop-up over here. Now we are also going to cut 2 pieces at 4 by 7. So I am going to cut these at 7 by 4. So 4 and 4. And we're going to score along the 7 inches. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and fold along the score lines. And then we're going to add this piece, or these 2 pieces here. So we're going to open this up, and you are going to add 1 on each side. Okay, so add 1 on the left section along the top. Okay, so that's gonna go right there, and then I'm going to add the other one on the right section. Okay, so also along the top. If you want to mix it up, you can put this one along the bottom, so this one will open down. And I am just going to hold this right here, and then we're gonna close this and just press down. Okay, and now when you open this up, you have your 3D page, but also these 2 open up, and then you can add pictures on all 4 sides. And that is gonna be our pages 3 and 4. For page number 5, I am going to cut 1 piece at 6 by 8 1/4 right here, and so we're going to score this piece at 1/2 inch along the 6 inches and fold. Okay, now we're gonna bring back our page, or bring our new signature page, and we're gonna glue this piece onto the right side of the page, so opposite from your hinges. I'm gonna add my glue over here and line this up and press down. Okay, and then I'm going to open this up and press down. And then we're going to cut another piece. I'm just going to use this leftover. And this is going to be 5 by 7. And I'm going to score along the 7 inches. We're going to score at 1, 2, and 6. And we're going to be making this platform area for a picture. So we are going to bring back our page, open this up, and the side has only the 1 inch section. We have a 1 inch and a 1 and a 2. So the side that only has that 1 inch, we are going to glue on this flap. So right next to the bending line on that right panel, just like that. Then we're gonna fold these 2 sections back and add glue on this 1 inch here on the edge. Okay, so fold both, add glue on the 1 inch on the edge, and then close the whole flap and press down. Okay, so close all of that, press down, and now when you open it, you're gonna have your 3D area here for a picture. So that is gonna be our page number 5. And now here for this back, I'm gonna turn that flap into kind of like the closure for a pocket. So I'm going to cut this page at 9 1/4. I'm gonna do this by 5 1/2. Okay, and we are going to score along the 5 1/2. We're going to score at 1/2 inch, and along the 9 1/4, we're going to score at 1/2, and at 8 3/4. And then just cut the corners and fold along the 3 score lines. Okay, so fold, and then we're going to bring this back, open this up, and glue this pocket here. And I'm just gonna add my glue, add the glue, and then line this up. Okay, so line this up and press down. Okay, so now we have a large pocket here on the side, and then this will keep everything close on your pocket. Now if you want this to kind of look like an envelope, you can round the corners. You can even make it a little smaller if you wanted to just close the pockets. And that is going to be our page number 6. Okay, so now for page number 7, we are going to cut 2 pieces at 7 inches by 11, and we are going to score along the 11 inches. I'm going to score at 5 1/4 and at 10 1/2. Whoops. Okay, and same for both, 5 1/4 and 10 1/2. And we are going to fold, and we're gonna make these 2 accordion pages, 2 accordion folds. So we're just gonna fold here and bring our new signature page. Oops. And we're going to add 1 on each side. So I'm gonna add my glue and place this one here, press down. Okay, and then we're going to open this up and add the other one. Okay, and so I'm gonna make sure that we line this up with the other one on the other side. I think that should be good. And then just press down. Okay, and there you go. We're gonna have our double accordion fold page. So that's gonna be page number 7. And then for the back, for page 8, I'm going to cut 1 piece. Let me see if I have a small section here. And I'm going to cut this at 6 by 5. and score along the 5 inches at 1/2 inch, and then fold, and we're going to just simply place this one right at the center. Okay, so on the left side, or sorry, on the right side, but right at the center of the page, and press down. So then this is going to open up like this, and then we also have that other layout here. And so there we go. So pages 7 and 8. Now for page number 9, I'm going to be making an easel page. So I'm going to cut one piece at 8 1/4 by 6 1/4. So 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. Oops. There we go, right here. And then I'm going to cut another piece. This one is going to be 7 1/4 by 4 1/2. Okay, and then one more piece. This one is going to be 9 1/4 by 6 1/4. So right about here. Okay, so we're going to start with the piece that is 9 1/4 by 6 1/4. So along the 9 1/4, we are going to score at 4 and at 4 1/2. Okay, and then the other piece, we're going to score along the 7 1/4 at 1/2 inch, and at 6 3/4, and along the 4 1/2, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And so this is going to be a pocket, this piece here. So we're gonna cut the corners, and we're going to fold along the score lines. And let's bring back our page, so our last signature page, and we are going to first glue the pocket. Okay, so add my glue and line this up. So this page is actually 8 3/4, not 9 1/4. So sorry about that. So this will be 8 3/4 by 6 1/4, and then we score at 1/2 inch and at 4 1/2. Yeah, it was looking a little bit strange. And okay, so now we are going to fold along the score lines. You want to fold this center one back, but also just keep it flat for now. And we're only gonna glue this 1/2 inch along the top. Okay, so we're gonna add the glue here, and we're going to line this up along the top of the page right there. Hold this down and add glue on this section here below that score line, and we are going to add the piece that is 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. So we're just gonna line this up with the page and just place that on top, and this is going to be kind of like a full page easel display right there, like that. And that is gonna be our page number 8. And then for this back flap, I am just going to cut one more piece, and I'm gonna cut this one at 6 1/2 by 8 1/4. I'm just gonna make it a full page, and we're going to score along the 6 1/2 at 1/2 inch, and then just fold along the score line, and then we're gonna add this piece. Okay, so just add this one right over here and press down. Okay, so line this, press down, and now we'll just have a very simple flap, but this is going to be with a closure right over here as well. And these are going to be our pages 9 and 10. And there you go. So now we have all of our pages, and now we're just going to add them to our book. And so now we're going to go ahead and add the pages to our book. Now the fun thing about this book is you can mix and switch around the order of the pages, especially if you're creating a little batch of books and you want them to all be slightly different. You can feel free to reorganize the order of the pages. I'm gonna glue it exactly as I design it, so that way you can kind of see the relation. But yeah, usually when I create blank books, I like to just kind of sometimes mix and match and change the order of the pages. So I'm gonna start from the back and move towards the front. So I'm just gonna leave a little space to that back score line and just glue this first half an inch down. Okay, so press down here, and then we're gonna fold and continue with the next page. So we're just gonna add them one next to the other. So I'm just gonna add my glue and place this one here, and you do want to add quite a lot of glue here. Okay, so press down. I always get questions if I suggest using tape for this step. You can most definitely use tape. I personally like using the glue. I feel like the glue just has a stronger hold and it will last a lot longer, unless you're using a really good quality tape. I use a really good quality tape, but I still rather use the glue for my hinges. I feel like it just bonds better with the cardstock. So I'm just gonna continue here adding the next page. Press down, and now we're going to add this first page. Okay, so I did make the gusset a little bit wider this time around for this book compared to the previous one. I think it's the volume 4. So the volume 4, if you really enjoy this tutorial and you haven't checked out the 8x7 volume 4, it's a little bit different. So I made some different layouts on these pages, but it's pretty much the same amount of pages and the same level of complexity. So if you're a beginner maker, go ahead and check that one as well. And there you go. That is going to be our super easy album tutorial. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and make sure that you come back and let me know what you created with this book and how you decorated this for what occasion. I'm always curious to know. Also, if you have an Instagram, you can tag me and I can go check out your pictures there as well. So I imagine by this point I already did a walkthrough of this book at the beginning of the video, so I won't do this again, but I do want to thank you so much for joining for this tutorial, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.